Good afternoon. It is July 15th, 2025, and today we had a down day. And let's take a look at the daily chart because early this morning, or maybe yesterday after the market reopened, uh, we had what created this tail. And if you look here, let's take a look at the 6500 tick chart. The tail was created by this big move up. We had a pullback, but then we had some follow through. And we're just in a range. So that was met with resistance, and today we just sold off to the other side of the range. So what you probably want to do is look for a reversal. Um, and if it doesn't reverse, it'll probably make an attempt to correct back to the moving average. But we're in a range, so a better idea would be to look for a reversal. And we have an overshoot of the bear channel that was formed today. You can see strong sell-off in the last few minutes of the market being open. So anyway, let's take a look at this price action. So you can see early on what appears to be some topping action. We prices can't break through this level, which is about 63.40. I'm guessing this is a news item. You get this final buy climax. It's the biggest bar out of any of these bars. Um, and prices can't really go higher. So is there a way to get in on this by max rules? Not really, but I think entering with a limit order up here to go short is pretty reasonable. And then we get this bear move here and a pullback to the EMA, and you get a very strong bear bar here. And technically, this is not a second entry long, but you can see it kind of looks like a second leg pull, two-legged pullback to the EMA. So I think you could argue for taking this trade. We make this double bottom, and that creates a break of this bear channel. And there is a bull channel in here. And we go to the top of this bull channel, and then we get a break. And then we get this broad bear channel right here. Okay. So there's some sideways stuff in here before we sell off to the lows. Not a lot of strong moves, and I don't think, yeah, you wouldn't have this larger bear channel at this point. So you're playing the short-term stuff. Um, Perhaps you could buy this this bull bar here to ride it back to the EMA, but it just doesn't look like we have a lot of evidence for going long. You have a gap above the EMA right here. But other than that, there's not much evidence for going long. You don't have any strong bull bars here. So, but then you do get a strong bull move, or a relatively strong bull move, and then you do get this large uh, bull bar that bounces off the EMA. Pretty, pretty convincing that we could be getting a second leg. This was the first leg. We get a second leg. And we do, but it doesn't go very far. Could you take this? I think you could argue for this, especially if you do draw a level of support right here and drag it up here. It looks like it fits. Then you could be thinking we're going to the top of the channel. But that doesn't go very far, and we form a sort of double top, and then we sell off, and not a whole lot of opportunity to get in on this. Not any strong, clear-cut opportunities, that is. If you look at this as confirmation, you could take this kind of like a 4-bar reversal right here with this good signal or this good bear bar. You could go short there. And then we're just kind of chopping along, finding support along this level. And then we get a break of this bear channel. And you get a pretty strong spike in channel right here. But this is an overshoot. So I would be looking to go long here. And you might look at this as a double bottom, first entry, second entry. Um, so this looks like a pretty good reversal to me. Unfortunately, it doesn't go very far, but you do get a pretty clear bull channel off of that. So we get this double top, sell off, looks like about a 50% correction where it goes sideways, and then you get a higher low, big bull bar. I think it's reasonable to consider this because it's like a breakout pullback. Maybe to test these highs, it goes further. And this turns out to be a bull channel, a broad bull channel. We come down here and get confirmation of that. I don't think you want to take this. It looks like it's 5 bars inside this bear bar. So to me, that just looks like congestion. We come up here, we come up short of the top of the channel, and we get a break. And this looks like a second entry short to me. And I like that. We couldn't break above the EMA. Big, strong bear bar, room to these lows. You get this bull channel here, break, move to a new high, and we bounce off this resistance again. Come down here, boom, bounce off the resistance again. Not sure about this one, but it is a lower high. You could look at that as like a hidden second entry short. We form this double bottom right here. I'm not sure you would have this level of support drawn yet. And we come back to resistance and it sells off. And unfortunately, I don't think you could get in on that. This lower high, I think it's too choppy for you to take this lower high. I think that's too aggressive. You're going into these lows. But it ends up overshooting the channel a couple times, 2 times here. I don't see anything for going short here, but we make this double bottom. You get a sort of what looks like a reversal. I think you could argue for going long there. This is aggressive because the day has a downward bias. It is choppy, but clearly a downward bias. That ends up being a good move. You get the two-legged pullback and a bounce off the EMA. You could consider this one. And that brings us to the break of the channel. And now we're making lower highs again. You could consider getting short here for sure because you're at the top of the channel. And not only are you at the top of the channel, but we had a break of this bull channel from over here and, some movement up here. And it just, now you have a gap below the EMA and making lower highs. It's just good area to go short. And then we try and pull back and you get this lower high. There's a gap beneath this range up here. So I'll just highlight that gap. So if you're convinced that the bears are strong, maybe you take this lower high. And then we break out into this range. And, once we go sideways here, it's very clear that this is a range. So I don't see anything to go short on in there. We break out to the low side. you do get a second entry short right there, and that's a breakout pullback, and I think that's worth considering, but that's at 12.55. So that brings us into the end of the day. So we'll take one last look. This was the 1300 tick chart. There's one last look at that. One last look at the daily chart. And I'll be back tomorrow.